Hey guys, what's up? It's the first official weekend of my senior year of high school, so I thought I'd kick off my first weekend. Please note, now that I'm back in school, I'm going to be uploading a lot less, only on weekends, and that's only on weekends I'm going to be, free, which is usually most of them. I don't do much. So tonight's film, and I apologize if I mispronounce the title of the film, is a disturbing shockumentary Japanese horror film from 2001. And tonight's movie is Orozco The Enbalmer. This film is basically a documentary about an embalmer in a third world country and the poorest parts and the residents of the poorest parts of Colombia, and along with the high amount of violence, crime, and death that occurs there every day. So our film opens with an introduction from our director, who tells us the setting of the film and how this one town, and how in this town where all this is happening, where the film was shot, there's nothing but death and disease and poor people and corpses littering the streets. Then we see footage of the town, the homeless, the poor, the sick, the dying. Pretty rough stuff. So once our credits end, we see a guy laying on the sidewalk and some men putting some hazmat suits slash medical gear on. Next we have some very grainy, like faces of death quality of footage, kind of shots of corpses on a slab. And then we have a garage door closing and the police, I'm pretty sure, examining a corpse of a fruit vendor who is stabbed to death and left in the middle of the street. After that, we have some homeless people begging for change, along with an open casket funeral being held on the middle of a sidewalk for a rotting corpse. And we get to the cutting room floor, where we see a fat dead woman being embalmed. And the footage is somewhat low quality along with the sound. Um, and just that, and just because of that, it's really not that easy to sit through, that scene. It may not be as close up on the shot on it as it is like in the autopsy scenes of Faces of Death, but I believe it makes it a lot harder to sit through. So yeah, that was kind of sickening. Then a woman comes in with a small casket. Her dead child, her dead baby, is in the casket. And she comes in there and begs the embalmer and begs him. And he says, "Bitch, why should I do this for you?" Like, calling her a bitch. Like, her fucking child just died. You think you could give her a break, maybe? So, yeah, our embalmer's kind of an asshole. Um, so anyway, he embalms the baby, which is a lot harder to sit through, although it is a very short scene, and that is probably one of the most disturbing in the films, and one of the most disturbing scenes in the film. So then the good doctor dresses the corpse for burial. The embalmer doesn't seem like much of an embalmer. I'm gonna try and pronounce that correctly. Em, Embalmer. He seems more like a combination of an underground red market surgeon organ harvester and a character from either Postal or Grand Theft Auto. So once that's over, we had the police picking up some what I assume are criminals, but they don't really seem like they're getting picked up for anything. Maybe prostitution, soliciting, I don't know. It's the next day, and we're in the South. Um, I mean, that's where the film says it is. I don't know exactly the South what it is, but where a corpse turned up and another turned up, and then there's more embalming. And that's where I kind of ended it because I got so caught up with writing my actual review. This film should be on every disturbing movie list because it is genuinely disturbing. Um, the film has an amazingly real look, probably because the film is real. And you can tell it's real. It's not just disturbing because of the embalming footage and pictures of and scenes of corpses and stuff like that. It's a disturbing film because shit like this happens every day, and I'm not just talking about the kind of cheap underground red market type embalmers. Um, I'm talking about the crime, death, poor people dying slowly, sick in other countries, third world countries, back alley red market doctors, as I've said before. It's all those things are very real and they happen every day, and that's what makes this film actually disturbing. And for one of the first times, all this shit is real, sitting right in front of you. Um, Unlike most disturbing movies where the realistic violence is kind of glorified for you, and it's kind of like plastered all over the poster and DVD art, with stuff like, oh, this movie's banned in all these countries, like stuff like Cannibal Holocaust or Guinea Pig, Flowers of Flesh and Blood. And I'm not calling those films out saying they're bad because those are both pretty good films. Especially Cannibal Holocaust. That movie's a masterpiece, but this movie doesn't need that to be disturbing. This film is literally unknown amongst the disturbing film community and the horror and exploitation film community, which is a sad thing because this film is available on DVD for like $17 on Amazon. And by the cover art, it advertises itself as kind of maybe somewhat of a horror film about an embalmer who goes crazy, maybe, or a film about, or maybe even a drama horror film about an embalmer having like troubles in his life. I mean, it doesn't make it out to be like a super like gore film. It doesn't make it out to be a really just gut wrenchingly hard to kind of sit through genuinely disturbing film. Um, Nonetheless, it doesn't want to be, on those. It doesn't want to be famous. It doesn't want to be. It's one of those films that doesn't need to have all this recognition in order for it to be considered disturbing. Mm. It's like this is one of those films that comes along very rarely, and it just doesn't, it doesn't want to be famous. It wants to be cherished by those who have discovered it. Um, Although I'm pretty sure the director intended for a lot of people to see this film, and I'm going to assume a decent amount of people have seen it, considering it has a DVD release. When there are other films that a lot more people have seen that still haven't gotten another DVD release or Blu-ray release. In this, it's not like this film isn't one of those kind of movies like murder set pieces. How the director just hyped up the film on message boards and on all these social media websites and put controversial, shocking, disturbing, warning, big like letters on the front, to get people to just be like, "Ooh, this looks controversial," and they'll just buy 16 copies of it. This movie doesn't do that. It doesn't need to do that. I'm starting to ramble. Yeah, this film is, if there's any like exploitation film or shockumentary I think almost everybody needs to see. This would probably be one of them. This film really puts everything in perspective for me. I mean, it's not just about embalming. It's about third world countries and all that. I mean, this is definitely a movie that I think that people that have an easy life who think that when their parents take away their iPhone, it's the end of the world. Like those types of people, especially teenagers, those types of people should be the ones should watch this film, and then should watch this film and many other documentaries about third world countries, and then come back to me and tell me if they think losing their iPod or getting their iPod taken away is the end of the world. They should be lucky. They should, be thankful for what they have, and I am very, very thankful for what I have. I don't really, ask for much. They should be happy they don't have they should be happy as well that they don't have an embalmer taken straight from an Eli Roth film opening their corpse. Also, did I forget to mention the music in this movie is pretty creepy? Yeah. So on the disturbing scale from 1 to 10, this one's a solid 8 or a 9. It's definitely pretty disturbing. Not as disturbing as Come and See. Probably on the level of something like Gummo, which was my number one. But after rewatching Come and See definitely beats Gummo as most disturbing. This one is pretty close to Come and See. It's a little, kind of like it's like a little bit more disturbing than Gummo. But then again, Gummo is entertaining and it has a lot of rewatchability. This film is one of those films that you can watch, maybe once or twice in your life, and you'll be your eyes will still be wide open watching it. You'll still be shocked every time. It's just not that entertaining. That doesn't mean it's a bad movie at all. This is a very, very good film. Just saying. On the gore meter from 1 to 10, 1 being something like The Corpse Grinders, and 10 being something like Brain Dead, this one has got to have a 9. Not because it's like extreme balls to the wall, Adam Chaplin, Brain Dead, Ichi the Killer kind of gore. It's because the gore and violence and everything that is disturbing about this film is real. That's the only reason I could give it a 9. Definitely a documentary worth watching. It's a real eye-opener. It feeds your inner gorehound, while at the same time making you think and be thankful for your life. 5 out of 5 stars. This movie really blew me away. But much like Titicut Follies, I don't think I'll watch it ever again. Same going for Let Me Die a Woman. But still a very, very good film. Anyway, guys, I'm Biscuit Boo 69. All the links to the social media, everything is in the description below. Signing off. Peace.